Your teams, the biggest stories. Join Mike Davis and Mariah Janos live at 2 p.m. daily here on Silver State Sports as they tackle the biggest stories in Vegas sports. Okay, well, look at that. Beautiful Ottawa, and it is a beautiful town. Is that where we find you today, TSN Ottawa's AJ Jakabeuc?
Yeah, just in the heart of the glebe, making my way to TD Place in Lansdowne today to do the show with the Ottawa Charge playing tonight against Seattle. So looking, it's a beautiful day. I'm not a huge guy, but it's part of the deal here in Canada. As I told people today, it's like you can never predict how it's winter-wise, but I told the winterites, because there's everyone, there's like they're skidooing and they're skiing and they're snowing and tobogganing, and I'm not that guy. I told them, like Chris Neal told Tanner Glass back in the playoffs in 2017, your fun is done. You had your fun. You had your 2-3 months here. It's 6 degrees. It's the last day in the canal, which is fantastic, but it's time to turn the page. It's time for spring. Your fun is done.
Well, speaking of fun, hey, speaking of, I don't know if you're on Wi-Fi or not, but your connection's a little choppy, AJ. So if you're on Wi-Fi, I ask you to go off of it because there you go. But you just got back from Anaheim. You're a guy that does not sit still very often, and I like that. You're similar to me. You saw the Oilers on the road. What did you see? How was your trip?
Yeah, I went to 6 games in 6 days, 2 hockey, 3 basketball, 1 baseball. So it was good. Southern California, Northern California, 12 hours in Vegas. I know you got a big sponsor there, and yeah, great. Really enjoyed my 12 hours in Vegas, the Fremont Street experience especially. So, yeah, in terms of the Oilers, man, a frustrating watch this year because it feels like they've got some pieces, but something's just a little off. Whether and it's not just goaltending. You can't just say, well, if the goaltending is good, everything's going to be fine. Defensively, team defense has not been good enough. So we'll see if Connor Murphy. I mean, he's not going to solve everything, but maybe just the slotting is a little bit better. Kind of like when they brought in Ekholm a couple of years ago, and if he can calm things down a little bit, get Nurse and Wallman apart, get them both playing better hockey. That should help. But, that's a team with a lot of flaws, but we've seen that the last couple of years as well. They are one of the few teams that can outscore a lot of their flaws, and we saw that perfect example of that last night against the Senators.
Oh, no doubt about that. And by the way, your connection's perfect if you did anything. But yeah, well, let me ask you this about those Senators going into the season. I don't want to put you on the spot, but you're a hockey guy like me first, and I said, who's going to have more points, the Senators or the Canadians this year? And you're like, oh, Senators. That ain't the case, AJ. What's changed? Why do you think that they did? Have they fallen short of your expectations? They're not in a playoff spot today.
Well, they have, but yesterday's a priming of what's gone wrong this season. It's been, speaking of frustrating, they're last in the league in saves. They're last in the league in expected saves. So that's a big part of it. But I'm not going to blame everything, much like Edmonton, on the goaltending. Feels like they've got everything. They could use another scorer. They could use another top four right shot defenseman. It hasn't been the best season for Nick Jensen after he was really good and stable. There have been some lines. It just feels like something's missing at times, and I don't know. Um,
Hang on, producer Corey. What are we going to do here? You're breaking up too bad, AJ. You're breaking up too bad. We haven't caught like the last 30 to 40 seconds of what you said. Producer Corey, are you there? Are you handy? What does AJ need to do? And while you do that, while you check into that, I'll read a few comments from the viewers here. And I feel like we've entirely lost AJ. There you are. Okay, we got you. We got you, AJ. Where are you exactly? I think I need you to either walk away from that or closer to that. Where are you?
I'm in the glebe, so I switched corners. That's going to help a little bit. Usually it's pretty good Wi-Fi here, pretty good here. But yeah, hopefully this is going to work. It's problematic in terms of just getting to work here today.
Yeah, no. Are you on Wi-Fi currently?
I am not.
Okay, good. Yeah, stay off of it. Stay off of it. So, anyways, I think I got your lowdown on the Ottawa Senators and how disappointing that they've been this season. So, let me ask you this: leading up to the trade deadline, who are the teams you're watching the most, and who are the biggest? Have the biggest pieces been moved? Because I'm still waiting to hear the name Stamkos, Bobrovsky, guys like that.
Well, Bobrovsky is the big for me right now, especially. You know, all their problems are and if you were able to get a Stanley Cup goaltender, the caliber of Bobrovsky, that would be fantastic for the Oilers. In Vegas, their thing hasn't been much better, and they're always looking to switch things up and upgrade if they've got some issues. So probably the looking at the most when it comes to goaltending because Bobrovsky is, for me, the biggest name out there. We'll see if there's some hockey trades in the next few days. I mean, St. Louis is clearly a team that's looking to sell. Vancouver's a team that's looking to sell. But to me, it's that Bobrovsky move, if it happens in the next couple of days, that intrigues me the most.
Well, by the way, I just saw the Panthers have signed Louis Domingue on a 1-year deal for the rest of the season. So that tells me Bob's probably on the move. What's your read on that situation? Just the Panthers in general, and it looks like this run's going to end temporarily for the Cats.
I mean, it's a long road for anyone trying to make the playoffs just because, a couple of reasons. I mean, the Panthers have had a tough year. Obviously injuries, but, I think it goes beyond that. But, the flip side of that is you just look at playoffs in the East, and it's probably going to be in the high 90s because some of these teams they're not losing. The Boston Bruins, they're not losing games. Montreal, Buffalo, I mean, they're all rolling. Detroit as well. I mean, couple of these teams, and getting back to Ottawa, I mean, that's why it's probably frustrating. You watch Ottawa play head to head against some of these teams and they dominate, but they've just thrown away so many points this year. And we'll see. I mean, the underlying numbers tell you Ottawa's got a chance. I think Money Puck had them at 40%, which when you look at a team 6 points out at this stage, that would tell you that, it's long odds, but we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, I mean, Bobrovsky is to me the most intriguing name. And I mean, while it just feels like that's something that's not going to happen with Edmonton, just because, I mean, the history of the last couple of years, and it feels like Vegas more than Edmonton to me, but that's just a gut feel, and I'm curious to see how that plays out.
Hang on a sec. You think Bob's going to go to Vegas? Can you explain what you just said?
Yeah, I think Vegas or Edmonton seem like the best bets. I mean, those teams are bottom 5 in the league in save percentage, and I think it hasn't been Bob's best year either, but I still think he's the caliber of goalie that can get either one of those teams over the top. I mean, Vegas hasn't beat a playoff team in regulation since November. So, like, that's a team that they need better goaltending. They need, some other things to start going their way. And the Oilers, again, it's not going to solve all their problems, but if you get a Stanley Cup caliber winning goaltender in there, I think it gives the group a little bit of a different dynamic, and maybe they'll start playing better defensively in front of them.
By the way, AJ, I got you scheduled for 10 more minutes if that's okay, but let me just ask you, you said you were on your way to the rink for the Ottawa Charge game tonight. Are you broadcasting it? And explain the PWHL to our viewer. Like, we don't cover it much here, but you're clearly very much into it.
Yeah, well, it's they're a team that when they sell out, they get 8,500 a game, and on a weeknight they'll probably get 7,000. So it's been a team that's well supported here. I've enjoyed the hockey. I mean, I don't get into those culture wars about men's hockey versus women's hockey. I mean, it's different. I don't go to a women's game thinking I'm going to get the National Hockey League. I go thinking I'm going to see the best women in the world. So it's I think they've been a great addition to our community. And, I'm worried about this league expanding too fast from a competitive balance standpoint, a goal scoring standpoint, because the goalies are so good and you don't want to see 1-0, 2-1 games every night. But I think they've done a pretty good job with this league. They still have some things they need to improve on.
And he's gone. I warned him for the 10-minute mark of what we would have. Oh, man, it's usually not this much of a white-knuckle ride when we've got AJ Jakabeuc on the... I don't know about you all, but I'm in a cold sweat here right now. So, producer Corey, I don't know if you need to throw up the RP Show logo, or what we're going to do. Let me dip back into the comments here. My guess, usually when the screen goes black like that, our guest has received a phone call or something like that. But anyways, Rich from Edmonton checks in. He says, AJ Jakabeuc, my brother from another mother. And goes on to say he didn't include the fact he dragged his better half to all those sporting events. Yeah, like I say, AJ and I have been friends for a very long time, going back to the Western Hockey League days. That's where we first met, and he's always on the go somewhere, in a way, sometimes very hard to keep track of. Case in point. I didn't even know that he's broadcasting Ottawa Charge games in the Professional Women's Hockey League. So there you go. 902-518-3033 is the text line number. I feel like AJ's gone for the day. And actually, thank you, David number 2 in Winnipeg, for checking in with, I said my picks have really sucked of late. They got easier for a while in the NHL, and now they've gotten really hard. I've been below 500. There he is. He's back. And now you're really clear. I don't know what that's all about. We won't keep you a whole lot longer, AJ. There you go. Now you're good. Now you're good. I don't know what the hell that was all about. But, hey, for your legion of fans, of which they're all writing in now from across Western Canada, they all know – I don't want to blow your cover. I think you've been in Ottawa now longer. Have you been in Ottawa longer than you've been anywhere in your life?
No, Edmonton still. I think 20 years in Ottawa, 4 years in BC. So, yeah, I guess 26, 27 years in Edmonton. So, yeah, Edmonton and Ottawa pretty close. I mean, two places both very close to my heart.
Oh, now you're clear as a bell, so I don't know what the hell was going on before, but I don't want to let you get out of here.
By the way, I need to correct my buddy Rich. Like, what? I did not. That was a solo trip. I did not go to 6 games in 6 days with the missus.
Oh, you heard that? Oh, I thought we were going to get away with you not hearing that. Okay, just the reason I bring that up, the Edmonton thing, is the Oilers. I mean, all day, every day, that's all they talk about in Northern Alberta and around the Oilers Nation, and it's a little exhausting for me. I don't know how you find it, but I mean, let's just think they're going to be in the playoffs. I mean, they might not. That's not even in the realm of scope of possibility that they miss the playoffs, is it?
Well, it is, but like I think they're going to be there, and like the one benefit they have this year, if they get there and start playing well, is just the division they're in. Like Utah's got to be licking their chops the way they're playing, going, that, and that's a different story altogether. Just the playoff format. How can you have the 1, 2, and 3 seeds essentially as they would be, all in one side of the bracket, with probably Minnesota getting Dallas in round 1 and the winner getting Colorado probably in round 2. So we'll see how it plays out. I don't get sick of it because I'm not there, but it's definitely like the one thing I know about going back to Edmonton is like when I grew up there, it was a great sports town. I'm not saying it's not a great sports town, but now it just feels like more of an Oilers town. And specifically as it relates to football, because, like the Eskimos, when I grew up there is the tail end of the dynasty, Moon, Jim Germany, Brian Kelly, all those guys. And they were as big as the Oilers, and the Oilers had one of the best teams in hockey history at that time. So just to see that go downhill has been, a little bit disappointing, and they haven't helped themselves with, I know the name change has hurt. I know just not winning games and not winning home games has hurt, but I'd love to see them get back to a point in Edmonton where, and look, it's never going to be as big as the Oilers again, but where it's a big deal, where they're getting, and it doesn't even have to be 40,000 a game, getting 25,000 a game, and it's a big deal on an Edmonton Elks game day. So that's the one thing I would say to that, because we had AAA baseball and pro soccer and so many different things, and the Golden Bears and Pandas were always supported so well, and now it feels like it's the Oilers and everything else is supported okay, but there's nothing near the level of the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I'm with you. I'm expecting them to be in the playoffs, and then from there, who knows? But just the anxiety of that fan base. I didn't say I got sick of it. I do find it exhausting. But hey, I said I would ask you about the CFL before I let you go. It's the last question I'll ask you. Bold move by your Ottawa Redblacks of the Canadian Football League to hire Ryan Dinwiddie, the Boise State Bronco, the star of Elk Grove, California, as your coach, general manager, and offensive coordinator. Man, the guy's a winner. I can tell the city's fired up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the fan base is fired up. Is the city fired up? I think they've got some work to do in that regard, and that means winning games. So they're gonna have to go out. Like, do I think it's gonna be sold out on opening night? I'd love to think that, but I feel like that's wishful thinking. Hopefully, they can build some momentum early. They got a lot of early home games because of the World Cup, and Toronto and Vancouver are forced to play a lot of games on the road to start the year. I think they've improved at every position, but I've seen Ottawa do well in the offseason before and not turn it into regular season wins. So like this team, I mean, 5 of the last 6 years, they've won 4 games or less. So like that's a lot of really bad football. And I think, a lot of the fans here and a lot of the general public here is in wait and see mode. Hopefully they can jump on the bandwagon early, but it does feel between the coaching move, bringing in Jake Mayer as cover for Drew Brown, who's been good when he's healthy, but not great when he's not, whether he's playing at less than 100% or otherwise. Bolstered the O line. I think they bolstered their skill position group and made some changes on defense. So we'll see how it all shakes down. I still think I'm predicting third in the East behind Montreal and Hamilton. Doesn't mean they can't move further than that, but they've got a lot of work to do because there's some good teams with Montreal, Hamilton, and you look at the West. Edmonton should be better. Saskatchewan and BC are still really good. So this is not going to be easy just to make the playoffs, but that would be step one. They have to find a way to get into the playoffs this year and build the trust of this fan base once again.
Okay, we have 1 minute left with you. Your Washington Commanders. Was that a blip 2 years ago or this last year?
Oh, it's a great question. I had high hopes for this past year. I thought they'd take a slight step back, but my goodness, they got a lot of holes. They got a lot of holes on the O line on defense. So and they have a high first round pick at number 7, but they don't have a second, and I don't think they have a third or a fourth either. So yeah, they only have 2 picks in the first 4 rounds. They got a lot of work to do, but I do think they have the right quarterback. Just got to keep him healthy and Jaden Daniels, and I think they'll be better. But man, there's some really good teams in the NFC. It feels like the power has shifted. The NFC is the better of the 2 conferences. It's surprising when you look at the available quarterbacks: Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and of course Mahomes on the other side.
Yeah, and then that NFC East, the Cowboys, we actually think we're going to do something this year because we do every year. Eagles are the Eagles, and the Giants now have a Harbaugh running the show, so that's not good. Okay, AJ, thanks for fitting us in. Enjoy the game tonight. I appreciate it, man. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure, Roddy. Take care.
From the national capital of Canada, AJ Jakabeuc joining us from TSN Ottawa with the God shot as we say goodbye. We'll be back with a sports update right after this. You're watching the RP Show on Silver State Sports and Game Plus Television.